So, the first step into starting a no-dig garden is to delineate where you want your garden to be. And once you have that established, what you want to do is you want to create a break from your lawn and your garden. Now, the reason you want to do that is because a lot of plants in anyone's regular lawn is going to consist of grass and possibly crabgrass. It will consist of dandelions, it will consist of vetch, it will have sorrel and all kinds of rhizomous plants. And I've got wild strawberries and all kinds of things that would love to take advantage of a big pile of mulch just over here, grow right into it and explode in growth. So the first thing you have to do is separate your lawn from your garden. Now you can do it one of two ways, and that's one is to just cut a slot or a trench separating your grass from the garden, to slice out and cut out those roots so that the energy or the nutrition from the garden can't feed the lawn outside, and the lawn can't send roots into your garden and pop up through the mulch, creating a nightmare afterwards. And so you can just use a simple slot cut in the ground, separating the two. You can put and what I do is I put a permanent physical barrier, so I had some leftover lumber, some rotting 2x6s from the raised beds I used to have. I tore all those out and I used that lumber to create that physical barrier. And it has worked wonderfully for now. But I didn't have enough to do the whole garden, so I didn't do the section across here. I later came back after the garden started, had the garden going, and I used this black plastic garden edging, and I put that in afterwards, after I had done all the work covering and smothering the garden. So, the reason why you want to do that, cut that trench and separate the garden from your lawn in the first place, is that once that cover and smother layer started to degrade, all the sorrel and stuff that was out here had piles of roots in there, and they were all connected. So once this stuff started decomposing, all the sorrel started popping up through here. And so I've got a nightmare of sorrel in the wood chips, in the garden. I covered and smothered the area over here again this year because that's where it was horrible at first. So I just, I'm just going to cover and smother it. And then, of course, it just started popping up over here, and it started popping up over there. So now I've got to do the whole thing all over again. Well, just in this section, probably 4 or 5 feet, I've got to cover this up again and do it a second time. So that's why you want to put that physical barrier in first, or cut a trench first, before you even bothering to do the covering and smothering, or else you're just going to have the weeds popping up afterwards, after you've done all that work covering, smothering, leaving it for a year, hoping to have a great garden the next year, and all of a sudden, boop, here's the weeds. So, first step, separate the lawn from the garden. Pro tip,